Hi, I'm Owen Bailey for the Sierra Club, and I am so excited about today's green how-to tip, composting. Every day in the United States, we throw away more than 200 million pounds of trash, and 15% of that comes from our yard waste and kitchen waste. All of that is ending up in our overtaxed and limited landfill space. And have you ever wondered how much of that you could be recycling and reusing right in your own backyard and garden? I think you'd be amazed to find out that almost all of it can be turned into fertilizer by composting. Composting is the process by which organic material breaks down so it becomes that natural and free fertilizer that's great for your lawn, it's great for your garden, trees, shrubs, you name it. And it's so simple. What I have here is a compost tumbler. This costs around $150. But the reality is you don't have to spend any money to start composting. You could use a wooden box in your backyard. You could start a pile for compost. You could even create a composter out of chicken wire and cinder blocks. Really doesn't matter how you do the compost. I like the compost tumbler for a couple of reasons. Number one, it has a lid, which keeps everything self-contained. Number two, the tumbling motion is a very easy way to turn the compost and get air in there, which you need. And third, this collects the liquid that comes off the compost as what's called compost tea. It's a great additional fertilizing supplement for your yard or for your garden. What do we need to make great compost? 4 things: air, water, carbon, and nitrogen. Or an easier way to think about carbon and nitrogen, carbon is brown kitchen and yard waste, nitrogen is green kitchen and yard waste. Things to avoid would be things like meat, fatty substances like salad dressing, or citrus, which is hard to break down. Let's get started. Let's start putting some stuff in our compost tumbler. We'll start with the brown, the organic, carbon-rich materials, dried leaves, straw, wood chips, the newspaper. We're going to put all that in first before we get to the nitrogen. We want to make sure we have enough of the carbon. We need a lot of it. But then the nitrogen, the grass, the salad ends, fruits and vegetables that you have left over from the kitchen. A lot of this is just great. You might want to make smaller pieces. The smaller the pieces, the faster things break down. Other things to keep in mind, eggshells are great. Coffee grounds, coffee filters, just throw them all right in there. They're all going to break down beautifully. And remember, lots of carbon. So if you want to use newspaper, really great idea. Again, smaller pieces. Shred it, rip it in smaller strips. Smaller pieces break down faster, faster you get your compost. Well, we have filled our compost tumbler, keeping in mind you need a lot more brown than green. You need 25 to 30 times more carbon than nitrogen. It's not an exact science, so you'll have to play around with it. But every couple of days, you'll turn the compost tumbler, make sure it gets air in there, make sure it stays moist but not soaking wet, and 4 to 6 weeks later, you will have great compost for your lawn or your garden. And the final bonus, you're doing your part to help the planet. Now go forth and make your compost. Thanks for joining us. Taking an action like this is a great way to start celebrating Earth Day every day.